she said in her caption, God introduced me to my husband, but the enemy ruined it. Ruined it. And people who say they're spiritual or godly or whatever, they like to say, oh, the enemy ruined it and this one it did. No, and me personally, I don't think it's any. I think you ruin it yourself. I think we have to own that accountability, own that part of it. Nobody else made you do it. You did it yourself for whatever reason. And when you hear people speak on a situation, you see that they did this to themselves. God and the devil didn't make you do it. You did it yourself. So she basically said she was 22. He was trying to marry her, right? So this was her first love. He wanted to marry her. He wanted to be with her. He knew that's who he wanted to be with. But as she continues to talk, she said she was scared. It's astonishing to me how we have a lot of young, and this is a common theme. This is nothing new. A lot of people are scared of marriage when they're young, but they're not scared to create children with anybody. It's the strangest thing ever. They're scared to get married, but they're not afraid to go and make broken homes, get babies and become a statistic and have to raise that child by yourself. They're not scared of that. They're more afraid of getting married. It's the funniest thing. I'm glad that she's putting this out there because I think more women need to hear this. More women need to be honest and be upfront with themselves because it's only going to hinder you. You could keep yourself in denial all you want, but the truth is still going to surface and it's still going to affect your life and your livelihood. I wish more women would be honest because this is the exact stuff that we talk about. I've heard Anton, shout out to Anton. I've heard Anton say too that most of these women have come across the guy who was supposed to be their husbands, but they passed over him. And this is exactly what she's saying. And this happens to a lot of women. And they don't want to admit to the fact that, you probably dated the guy who was supposed to be your husband. You probably, friend zoned him or you wasn't ready. Like she said, they think because they're young, that means go out and just be promiscuous because that's what ends up happening if we want to be real. You end up running out in these streets and then end up with a baby and then life becomes real for you. And you realize you're not with that person. Now you're a statistic. Now you got to raise this child by yourself. And then you look around and you realize how much harder you've just made your life and how much more complicated it's going to be for you to date in the future. You had a good guy, but you didn't want him because what did she say? Oh, he was boring. She was ready to go out and, explore because this is what a lot of women say. And it doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. All these women are still saying the same things. And because it was told to them or taught to them that your 20s to play around, I think that's what kind of messed a lot of women up. They really thought their 20s is to have fun. Part of that fun is to go and, sleep with whoever and explore different sizes and all of that, because that's what exploring means. Not understanding the impact that's going to have on you and your dating options and all of that as you get older and building a family with, it may have a negative impact on it. And I think that's what we're seeing. And one thing that stood out that she just said was people were telling her, oh, you're not going to be with him. You need to explore. That's women. Why does she got to go explore and back? And then she went out and left a good dude that wanted to marry her, would have been her husband. And they would have started young and built their relationship together and built their family the way it should be. No, you have women out here telling young women, girl, the first guy you pick it, that's who you gonna go with. Like, who told women that you're supposed to go out here and just screw everybody? Why is that the program? Go screw everybody till you're 30, 40, and then you settle down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then you get one a man and make sure you make a lot of money and make sure you have this, make sure that now you got kids. She's an example of this. She's being accountable. But she's saying, look, no, she explored. And what she did, explored and went, got a baby, made herself a single mother. And then you go to reminiscing on, well, I had a good dude back then. I should have just stayed with him. No, but you had to go out and explore. And then you explore. The first time you explore, bam, you got a baby. It's an epidemic. You should be able to have the understanding and the knowledge to understand that you don't have to go out and get a baby with somebody and run your body count up to finally realize that this was the wrong choice, that you were making the wrong decisions. We need to catch the young women, the young people before they make those choices to let them know that you need to prioritize a serious relationship. If you really want companionship, a husband, you want to be a wife, you want to build a family, you got to understand there's certain things you need to put in place to do that. And going out here running up the CC, running up the body count and doing all that and thinking that it's okay. And then you get to a certain age when you feel you're ready after you done been out in them streets for years. And now you want a man to just come up and be everything and 10 bags of chips for you? It don't work like that.